Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Ali Abbas, and the most genius person on AI, Mr. Adnan Iftekhar, is with me. He's from America, and nowadays he's in Pakistan, and he's enjoying the weather, the weddings, and the historical places. So today my topic will be: most of the time we praise and we respect people when they are not in this world. So my mission is to praise the people and praise their achievements when they are present in the world, so they can also listen and hear what the people are telling about themselves. So my today's topic will be Rehan Allahwala, and this will be the tribute to Rehan Allahwala and his achievements and his works and his contribution to the world and especially to the Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, Adnan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Very nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for inviting me and taking the time to have a conversation with me.
So, how is the philosophy that we should praise the people in their lives?
100%, 100%. You know, so in the US and actually other places in the world, I think as well, they have this thing where they, instead of having a what's it called? A celebration of death, right?
Yes.
Like when people have died and then you have the funeral,
Yeah,
right?
funeral.
So they're starting to have pre-funerals. So having a funeral before the person is gone so that you can, you know, when you're getting into older age, or even if you're not getting into older age, you can at least hear your eulogy.
Yes.
All the people praising you before you are gone, just like you were talking about. I think that is an absolute must.
So he cannot get the pleasure. He cannot listen in the grave what people are talking and what people are asking. And if we are making the roads or the books and the name of the institutions on their names,
Right.
what is their benefit?
Exactly.
So we should, I think, the achievement they should praise in their own lives.
Exactly.
And today our topic is Rehan Allahwala, a great man.
A great man.
And I would like to start from the journey of yours with him. When did you met him, and mainly what did you learn from Rehan Allahwala?
Okay, so the story is a really interesting one because it was actually my sister who introduced me to Rehan Allahwala about 8 months ago right now.
8 months ago? Oh.
8 months ago only. And I had not heard, I'm surprised that I had not heard about Rehan before that.
Okay.
And she sent me a video of his and all she said was, this person speaks your language.
Okay.
You need to be in touch with him.
Right.
That's all she said. So my sister sent it. My sister Sitwat sent it to me from Canada. She lives in Canada, and she sent it to me. And I watched the video. So this is a video where he was talking about the Rehan school, how schooling in the world is
Should be.
what it should be like. It should be. Right now, it doesn't work. So what should it be like? And he was talking about all of these incredible things. And what I was hearing was that all of the things we're doing are antiquated. All the things we're doing are stuck in the industrial age. And we need to really think, especially now, not just in the age of technology, but in the age of AI, that we have the sum of human knowledge available to us. And what do we do with it? We watch cat videos, right?
Yeah.
Why? Why are we spending all this time, wasting all of our time, just like we were talking about on Instagram?
Yeah.
Why aren't we using that time? Why aren't we investing it in relationships, investing it in communication, investing it in creating the next generation of leaders who are going to fix the mistakes that we haven't been able to fix in our lifetimes?
Okay.
So this is what Rehan was talking about, and this is some similar things that I talk about. The issue in the United States is in education, there are 22,000 school districts in the United States. So every school district has their own philosophy. So to change education in the United States is an uphill battle.
Okay.
And changing it anywhere is an uphill battle. But again, coming back to Rehan,
yes.
when I heard what he was talking about, I was just like moved. And so I reached out to him, and he said, he sent me 2 videos of his to watch. And he said, and he introduced me to 3 of his students to do interviews with.
Okay.
So he has because Rehan Allahwala has his own methodology of how to vet people.
Yes.
And this is one of the mechanisms, is that, have you done your homework on me? Do you know what I stand for? Do you know where I come from? So once I'd done that homework and figured out, yes, we have a lot in common, I don't agree with everything that you say, but we have a lot in common. And I got the chance to speak to his students.
Okay.
Which was the most amazing thing.
What did you find different from his students from the regular schools?
So first of all, the 3 students I met, one was 9 years old.
Okay.
One was 12 and one was 16.
Right.
So different ages. But the thing that I found out is I'd never been interviewed by a 9-year-old before.
Okay. So this was your first experience.
This was my first experience being interviewed by a 9-year-old.
And that was in English.
And it was in English.
Okay. Amazing.
All the interviews were in English.
Amazing. Amazing.
So the 9-year-old, Salwa Leadership Wali, she was incredible in terms of like kind of having a conversation with me. And she'd been doing this for 3 or 4 years already. And so she already had a sense of this, and her mother was there to help her out, get everything set up. But everything was incredibly professional, incredibly real. She was authentic. She was laughing. She was being herself. And it was just really lovely to have that experience with her.
Okay.
So that was the first experience. The second experience was with Alian Upworkwala. And so
Alian Upworkwala.
Alian Upworkwala.
He must be working on Upwork.
Exactly. Right. And so that's what he's kind of like, appropriated that name for himself. And he at that time, this was again 6-7 months ago. So he at that time was still learning English. And even though he didn't speak it fluently, he was able to ask me the questions.
Okay.
Now ask me why.
Why?
Because he used AI.
Okay.
He took my profile, he put it in AI and asked me some relevant questions because he used the tools he had available to him to have a conversation with me in a language he was not comfortable in. And we had a really wonderful conversation. Again, it was one of those where I knew that he didn't speak English that well, but he was able to interview me like he was fluent.
Okay.
Right? And so that was a good introduction to a lot of the philosophy around these kids learning English by practicing with people who speak English.
Okay.
And then the third one was Manahil Remote Job Wali.
Okay, Manahil Remote Job Wali.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very good philosophy that whatever you are doing, so put that thing in your name. So people always, when they read your name, so they know how to do work with you, or whenever they have a project or whenever they have assignment, they can contact you and give you the assignment.
Exactly. And this is the philosophy of Rehan, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Rehan Allahwala. Right?
Yes.
So I had Salwa Leadership Wali, Alian Upworkwala, and then Manahil Remote Job Wali.
Remote Job Wali.
Right. And so they have their own, and this is the philosophy. So every time the students come into the school, they take one of the issues that they want to work on and they appropriate that last name. So there'll be a Pani Wali, there'll be an electricity wala, there'll be a poverty wali, there'll be an education wala.
All the names are according to their profession, what they are doing.
According to the profession or the issue they want to work on.
Right. Okay.
Exactly. If they want to solve poverty, then they're poverty wala. Right. Poverty wali.
Okay, now there is one regular school system and there is a Rehan school system nowadays. Na? So how they will finish their education, and after the completion of the education, they will be able to do the same job, or they will able to have a success in life. How is this will be work like?
So here's the thing. It depends on what you define as success, right? For some of the kids who are coming to these schools, to the Rehan schools, success for them is earning bread and butter.
Yes.
Right? And actually bread and butter, because their parents, the average per capita income, as you know, in Pakistan is $100 a month.
Okay.
Some of these kids have already started to make $100 a month.
A month, okay.
At the school itself.
Right.
So they're supplementing their family's income, right? By doing a lot of this and having this happen. So empowering students to let them know that age is not a limitation.
Okay.
You don't need to start coding when you go to college. You don't need to start studying biology in high school. You don't need to study any of these things. If you have an interest in it at age 6, 7, 8, do it now. Why do you wait? Right? So part of the philosophy is around empowering these students to create and make the decisions and then working on them in school.
Okay.
Because rather than preparing them for life, they're just in life right now. There's no need to prepare them for life. Just give them the problems of life right now and have them deal with it in this moment.
You yourself is an author and trainer and consultant. You move around the world And I have heard that your kids are also not going to school.
Well, currently they are, but the plan is for them to not be in school.
Okay.
One of the plans is that we have is potentially to take some time and travel with them, just like we are doing right now. So we have these couple of weeks that we're traveling to Pakistan and Istanbul, and the kids.
Okay, from here you are going to Istanbul.
Yes,
that is an amazing place. And this is your first visit to Istanbul?
For the kids, yes. I've been there. I've been there a couple of times, but not in any. Again, I was little when I went, and I was only there for one day the second time I went.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be experiencing it through their eyes, because the kids have also been doing Rehan School online for the past month.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So they've been involved in Rehan School online for the past month, and part of that is for them to. My daughter Zarmina, who's 11 years old, created, and Ayana as well, who's 9, created a mini documentary on Istanbul.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so they have a 30-second documentary that they created, and I'm sure they'll be happy to show it to you after we're done with this.
Yes, sure, definitely. I would love to.
And they're just in the process of creating and making things. So, like you're talking about this book, Zarmina and I wrote a book together as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Called Navigating Nav, and it's about artificial intelligence, climate change, and emotions.
Okay.
And so it's a story about a middle school girl who goes through a lot of who's a technology person who goes through all these different areas in her life. Anyways, I'm happy to talk a little bit more about that. But the point, I think, is for me is the work that Rehan Allahwala is doing is empowering kids to be humans.
Okay.
Not age limiting them, but giving them the opportunities to create books, to write books, to create apps, to
work on Upwork, to work on Fiverr,
to work on Upwork, to work on Fiverr, to work as interns. I have 3 interns through the Rehan School as well, who are working with me as well.
Right.
And it's to give them the opportunity to be in the real world.
Right. So this will be the last question to you. Tell me 3 basic things what you learned from Rehan Allahwala.
Okay.
Particularly 3 things.
Okay, 3 particular things.
Which I can share, which show you the path, or which change your life.
Yes.
Or tell me the topmost 3 things.
And I have to tell you this as well, that I only met Rehan Allahwala 8 months ago virtually.
Okay.
But about 6 weeks ago, Rehan Bhai, came and stayed with me in San Francisco. In Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. You are living there.
I'm living there right now. And he came and stayed with me for 5 days.
Right.
And I was honored that he asked me to do that. And so I'll share with you 3 things that I noticed about him when he came and stayed with me, right? Because that was like my first meeting with him in person.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, he is this person who's larger than life.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But he's incredibly humble. He's not like, out there like saying, I do this, I do, of course he's talking about these things, but he's incredibly humble and he's just very down to earth.
Okay.
And I think just seeing that in action was really beautiful for me. So that was one thing, is to just, think about being humble, being grateful. He's incredibly grateful for what he has as well.
Right.
And I think humility and gratefulness go hand in hand.
Right.
So that was one thing. It's like that was
number
really
2.
Okay. So number 2, when we went out to visit schools, whenever we were going out, he would just take out his camera and start recording.
Okay.
And start talking.
And putting on the social media and
putting it on the social media and all of those things right away. And then while I was with him, he said, because I talked to him about this one thing, about like the 4 rules for life. And he asked me about, what do you mean 4 rules of life? So I explained it to him a little bit. And he said, okay, I want you to do one thing for me. I said, sure. Take out your camera. Take out your phone. So I took out my phone. He said, okay, record yourself telling me exactly what you just said. I recorded it. He said, okay, now upload it to Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And I did all those 3 things. And ever since then, every 2 to 3 days, I record at least 1 video.
Okay.
Since that time, and you'll notice.
So today his video is done.
I know, today's video is done. Right, exactly. But I have a backlog as well of other videos that I've taken, and I'm even if I don't publish them, those videos are there for me to look back on.
Right.
So I've published more videos in the past 6 weeks than I have probably in the past 2 years.
Okay, really.
Right. And that's because of him, because seeing him act like that in the world of being, I'm learning things. Why don't I share it with
sharing with the people? Okay.
Sharing it with
Number
other
3.
people. Okay. Number 3 is that he has a vision and he's sticking to it.
Okay.
So the way that he describes his vision is that I'm currently, creating Rehan School. I'm creating my own omelette.
Yes.
This is my omelette. You can have a taste of the omelette, but right now don't tell me what to put in the omelette because I'm creating this.
Yes.
I'm making this, and until I have the omelette complete, you can look at it, you can taste it, you can take part in it.
Okay.
But don't tell me what to put on it.
So he's very particular and he is very straight to his
he
word.
has his vision because he says he has a PhD in failure.
He fails a lot of times.
He's failed a lot of times. So he knows what failure looks like. He knows what success looks like for him.
Right.
So he has a specific vision. And I really respect that because that way he can create the omelet and we can continue eating of the omelet. And then in a few years, when he asks for advice, then it'll be ready for omelet 2.0.
Thank you very much, Adnan. It was very pleasure talking to you. Just one sentence. Pay tribute to your mentors, your teachers, your loved ones in their lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you.